Last time on the Incorrigible Party. Confined to the cell, Rumkey experiments with his blossoming abilities, while Opal explores cell block B on her own, using her wits to impress a few inmates, and gaining some information about the prison in the process. On excavation duty, Seisha Dahl gathers information of her own while befriending her work crew. Over lunch, you can kind of, as like the chipping and hitting of and clanging of pickaxes is, ceased for the time being. Like you again kind of hear echoes of like torment and kind of the screaming coming down from that curved area, obviously from where Dr. Cockle is performing his medical duties, as he would say. Again, just like kind of a faint echo from the distance you are, right? But clearly, like, still ongoing.
That is quite disconcerting. Does it ever stop?
I mean, honestly, that's what's great about the noise and being further down in these tunnels. You gotta tune it out. You gotta try to tune it out.
So it's all day and all night.
Well, say one thing about him. He's definitely passionate about his work.
Do you know what it is exactly that he does?
You already kind of touched on the stupor part of it. I really shouldn't be sharing this with anybody outside of the Trinity. And Ambleside will kind of like, pull you away from the rest of the crew. So only, like, she starts to whisper this to only you, right, and fill you in. As again, you've successfully, like, struck up this camaraderie with her and the rest of the crew. Now, I've heard that what the doc is doing is trying to find some version of stupor that kind of juices you up, like makes you more tolerant, raises that pain threshold. I don't know what the Trinity kind of wants it for. I mean, you from the city? You know what goes on, like the fights, the Brawlers Club, that kind of stuff?
I know some, but assume I'm ignorant.
I don't know, there's basically just daily fights that go on in a bunch of the taverns, section of the city. Some of them overseen by one of the, the fighting guild. But the ones that aren't, the Trinity looks after. And, the Trinity gets a good amount of coin from overseeing what goes on around there. They take their dip into what the Brawlers Club is, owed. But I guess there's always more to be made, especially if you have a fighter that's a member of the club. Now, they get the right endorsements, and they get, the right sponsorships, they know the right people, they're good at fighting. I mean, they gotta be good, they gotta win. There's money in there. I don't know, maybe that's what the Trinity wants it for, you make a super fighter, maybe.
Someone who won't flinch.
Yeah, someone who can take a beating and just won't go down.
I see.
And I don't know if he's, the doc's perfected it. I mean, he's certainly still doing a lot of work in there, so whether or not he has it, and he's just being playful, as sick as it is, I don't know. I don't know those details. Like I said, I haven't been a member for too long, but, look, I know some things.
I've always found unwarranted violence abhorrent.
I won't shy away from giving someone the beatdown if they need it, but hey, I agree.
It's very concerning, isn't it? How does he choose his participants?
I've heard. I mean, he works out of Block A. The guards lock somebody away for a day or two. He just kind of roams up and down the halls, seeing who's here and picking them out.
So random. Random from those in solitaire.
I mean, I'm sure the doctor has his own criteria. Like I said, I wouldn't know what it is.
Do you have any idea how often he chooses someone?
I don't know. I would assume whenever he's revised the formula, maybe, when he's got something new to test. But like I said, he's a sick man. If you have any type of illness in here, any injury, even if that thing gets infected, even if your armor's going green from that bullet bite, do not go to see Dr. Cockle. you keep that covered, and I would suggest you suffer the pain of the injury than suffer the pain of the medicine that doctor will give you.
Duly noted and much appreciated. What happens to those he's finished with?
Do you see all those folks wrapped up, bandaged, at breakfast this morning before they all burst into their own little fight and got carted away?
Yes.
Well, those are the people that are hooked on whatever the doctor gave them.
So they get returned to normal population, all messed up.
I mean, for as long as they can stand. They go more than a day without getting a hit, some of them. They get a little itchy, they get a little antsy, and look, you saw what happened. If they break out into a fight, they purposely get themselves put back into A. Just in the hopes that the doctor will snatch them up again. It's not just the special stupor. They grow the flowers here. We make normal stupor for the city here, too.
I was curious as to where the supply was coming from. I had heard it was a rather rare substance.
I don't know anything about where it comes from. I haven't seen any of them anywhere except in here.
I appreciate you sharing this with me. It has been most enlightening. Is there anything we can do for you?
Jeez, that's pretty generous. I don't know. Maybe I'll have a think on that, and I'll get back to you.
Alrighty. So if we go back to work then, at some point in time I want to try and just kind of sleight of hand slash one of the leather straps on the Boulette pup.
Okay.
Like, not deep enough so that he can escape now, but just kind of weaken it a little bit.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me that. Roll me a sleight of hand.
10.
You,
Get my other arm chomped?
No. So you position yourself kind of to the side of it, right? And you're like aiding in repositioning the pup to work on a new section of this wall, right? You're kind of on the right of it. You got Ambleside behind at the rear where the handle is, and you pull out your shiv, right? You're able to score like the inner part of the strap that kind of like would press against the Bullette's body. So you've like put this little score in the back of it, not enough to break all the way through, right? So you can't see it from the other side of it, right? But clearly weakening this part of the strap. And as you do this, though, you pocket your shiv again back up your sleeve or wherever you have it hidden. It's clear that Ambleside witnessed you do this. She doesn't seem to say anything, though. She just kind of looks at you and then goes back to manipulating the cart.
I won't say anything either. Just kind of give her a little bit of a wink.
And the work detail continues. Again, another 4 or 5 hours after lunch that you're here digging out through the stone, basically.
What is the purpose of this room? Do we know?
I mean, usually we're making more room for cells, but actually I think this is an expansion for the doctor.
That's grotesque. How many more does he need?
He loves the work.
Has anyone ever considered taking care of the doctor?
Wow. You're really asking the tough questions here.
What better place for it?
I'm not going to go on record and say that the prison wouldn't be better off without the doctor. But I will definitely say that the Trinity would be pretty pissed off to lose that asset.
Surely somebody could take up where he left off. He must have notes.
Oh, I don't doubt that he does.
Then somebody could take over and maybe not be so sadistic.
Maybe. Getting in a proper position in the prison would definitely make the inmate's life a lot better. Quality of life would go up for everybody.
I wonder if I know someone that may help with that. I'll have to have a think on that one.
Whoever it is, I don't know how they're going to get access to the doctor. I don't think he leaves Block A.
Is he securely locked in?
No, nothing like that. I think he's got his own quarters, near the greenhouse.
So the only people that see him are his victims.
Even the guards try to keep their distance, yes.
Who brings him his food?
Well, I'm sure there's somebody that's, tasked with doing that. I don't think there's any volunteers is all I'm saying.
I pity them. It must be anxiety-inducing to be anywhere near him.
Honestly, I wish they would take us on a different stroll to get over here, for the detail.
There's another way here.
Just like back in B, there's branch and tunnels. These places are like a maze, but, you walk them enough times, you kind of know your way around.
Maybe they do it for intimidation.
I'm sure they do. I mean, they could just, take us down that southern tunnel and kind of loop us around. It would be no problem. We get right back to where we started,
The southern tunnel, yes. After a few hours, I would like to try and score a different strap.
Like on the opposite side or similar side?
Opposite side, same front or back, whichever one I did before.
Sure, give me another sleight of hand.
12. Slightly better.
That is slightly better. But the watchful eye of the Ambleside has had on the crew starting to kind of lax right as the shift goes further in. So you successfully get a similar score on the opposite side and don't see that anybody notices it.
Okay, and I will leave it there and just finish out my day.
And again, another couple hours pass, and the bullet pup, the crate walls and lid are put back on and latched back on, and your crew is as you are the bullet wranglers for this work detail here. You are escorted with the same guard that brought all of the crews in. His name is Officer Vorfoss. He basically escorts your crew as the five of you are pushing and wheeling this thing down to a different part of the prison. So you will get to see a bit of another route, and you can certainly make some more of your own mental notes here about kind of the way that you are taken. Now, you are taken down that southern tunnel, and it stretches for upwards of 800 feet. Halfway down, there's like another kind of right-hand turn, and then finally you get to the end of it where you can go left or right, and you are taken left. And then 200 feet later, another right down this, another kind of large, like curved tunnel or corridor. There's a number of more branching ways off of this corridor that you take, but everywhere you've gone through down here, like lined with more solitary cells. Many of them, you can like see the door. A handful of them have, like, yes, you can see through it, but it's like that magical darkness, right? So you see this magical darkness over probably about half of them down in this section area, right? And you can like hear people like within moving. But basically, you're taking another kind of swerving corridor, and then finally you take another right and head like all the way up north. It's like you're walking the length of the width of this plateau, basically, almost from the very bottom to the very top. It feels like finally into this another kind of similar. Much smaller than the area you're in, but another open area where you see like the mama bullet. And she's like huge, right? She's like 15 feet by 15 feet. She's a monstrosity in this larger like iron cage, right? The front of it is like this huge, like 15 by 15 foot swinging gate, and you see chains are secured around it. It's just like two padlocks on it, like very, very secure in there. It looks like. And then kind of next to that cage is a much smaller one for the little baby pup. Again, the guard is kind of directing some of the new crew members along with Ambleside of the procedure, right? So you pull the front of the crate off, leaving the rest of the walls secured on it, right? Match it up with the open side of the cage, and reaching inside, the guard pulls out like a key off of his ring, right? Inserts it into a lock around the harnessing system, and basically this lock like disengages the whole thing, right? It's like this master lock for it. Again, which you certainly, during your inspection, you figured out its inner workings with it, right, throughout the work detail. But then it like kind of drops the bullet pup down, right, hanging in the straps, and it just immediately scurries into the only opening, right, that it can get out of this like box, and then the gate on the iron gate is like slammed shut, again secured with a chain and padlocks, securing the pup. And then you kind of wheel the crate over, and you can see you put it next to a much like a mama bullet sized crate, something very similar. It looks like similar contraption to control and wield the larger bullet with.
Is there only one baby-sized crate?
There is, yeah. It does look like it's only like the mom and the pup, just the two bullets here.
So they don't even get to be together?
They don't. They look like they're butt up against each other. And in fact, you see like the pup immediately wanders over to that shared wall, and the mom kind of brushes, like they're brushing up against each other, like through the bars, right? As they're reunited after days of work. And the guard's like, all right, come on, let's go. Just take it back to your cells.
Kylia will wave to the pup. Have a good night.
And you go back down that big long tunnel, of course now moving south, back through that curve. Instead of being taken back up north, you're actually passed through another one of the locked, secured doors that's kind of built into the stone. And it puts you in kind of this long, straight tunnel. Again, no cells in this area. And you're basically taken through like a second door, up north again, and then you reach like, so you can tell that you're kind of made this circle now around where you originally came in, because you exit by the same door that you were first let in at the detail, where you went north around that top curved part with the doctor, and now clearly taking that route after coming back from the Blet, you've come back like down the bottom side of cell block A, essentially towards that like initial right turn where that kind of three-way intersection was, right? But you see heading towards you a tall figure kind of strutting down the tunnel. He's got like short cropped dark hair. He's clad in a white smock that like hangs down to his ankles. It's stained crimson with blood. He's kind of, you see him walking with like both hands kind of clasped behind his back before he like lowers a pair of goggles that he previously had like worn up across the bridge of his head, like, right where you would put like a pair of glasses, right, as if you were lifting them up. Following closely behind him, he seems to have a 2-guard escort. They seem to be like keeping their distance. They're about 15 or 20 feet walking behind him, but clearly like meant to be accompanying him. And the man moves from like one occupied cell to another. And you see like he's stepping into this magical darkness, right? The little bit of the sphere that kind of sits over the cell that pokes into the tunnel in the corridor, right? Obscuring the actual door to it. You see he's like opens up the sliding like top viewport to peer into this first cell. Not valid. Before closing it up, he moves to another cell. He kind of repeats this process about 2 more times before you're kind of like meeting each other now in the tunnel. The rest of your work crew seems like interested and confused, except for Ambleside, who she keeps her eyes like glued to the floor in front of her. And the man stops again in front of a darkened cell, opening the slide and peering in. Ah, valid. And Kylia, again, seeing through the magical darkness, you catch the very smallest glimpse of Hellcruck within this cell. Of course, Hellcruck, you've heard the steps, you've kind of heard the echoes of this exchange. You hear this viewpoint of your cell slide open, but you, of course, are cast in the darkness, not able to see anything. And this figure will motion to the 2 guards with him. This one.
No! You don't want him.
And this man wheels around on like one heel to face you. His goggles now, like he comes like right up to you, right? Again, he's got his hands kind of clasped behind his back as he steps. And the goggles have like an aperture lens that like they narrow into like very like pinpoint, right, as he peers at you. And he seems to like look you up and down. Ah, valid. You will assist the discovery.
The what?
The discovery to find the fine line between pain and pleasure. He waves off the rest of your crew and your guard escort. As they continue hurriedly, the guard ushers them down the tunnel the way you were coming. Obviously, you've been motion to stay exactly where you are. And he just kind of snaps his fingers once at the accompanying guards. And the magical darkness in your cell, Hellcruck, is dispelled. And you're almost like, even just the small little viewport and the dim light, like you're just kind of momentarily blinded by the flood of it, right? As this, for you, Hellcruck, is the first time you are seeing light in about 12 hours. You've been sitting in this cell so far at this point. And your door is thrown open, and the guards step in, each grabbing one of your arms to pull you into the tunnel.
Hey, what gives here? What's going on? Where are you taking me?
There is work to be done. Forward.
I don't like the sounds of that.
You don't wanna do your experiment on him. He's no good for it, really. He's diseased. He'll mess everything up. You'll get non-valid results.
Experiment? What experiment?
There is a medicine for everything.
Not what he has. You haven't seen it yet.
All the more interesting to find the line. You will handle this one. The guards kind of push him towards you, Kylia, and you're set to basically usher forward. Basically following the direction that your crew is scampered off to.
And I'm gonna be like trying to step away from him, like I don't want to touch Hellcruck because he's diseased.
And you see like the two guards, they've kind of pulled their clubs, and they're almost like holding the two of you like in front of them at club point with this man. Kylie, you certainly will know that this is Dr. Cockle following behind this escort now.
So I think we'll just pretty much spend the day out, because walking around's just too risky, and I'm not allowed to go out anyway. So I think we'll just wait till Lila gets back and, just have cell talk occasionally.
Yeah.
Read any good books lately?
You know how to make toilet wine?
No, you got the recipe?
Okay, so as the day progresses, and very shortly, like if Oppo were to visit the common area for dinner, she would see that this kind of like dark brown looking stew is served for dinner in the common area. What it's composed of and what has been added to it are a little indiscernible amongst the gravy like consistency of the brown stuff. But very shortly after dinner has been served, you can hear ring throughout the cell block the exact same like buzzing sound that issued this morning before the cells opened up and released the prisoners basically out for the day. This one, however, at the end of the day, is signaling for the inmates to return to their cells for lights out. Again, if Opal was in the common area here having dinner or whatever, can certainly bring something back for Rumkey so he can have something to eat as well. But the inmates start to file out of all the common areas, going back to their own cells. And down your hallway, you can see and again, obviously throughout the rest of the cell block, the guards walking up and down the rows of cells, and they're performing this basically a roll call, right? And accounting for inmates supposed to be in their proper cells before basically giving the tick and then locking up the cells. And with the two of you back into yours, like a guard stops him from your cell, kind of looking down at the checklist, looking at the numbers on your prison garb, kind of like mumbling to himself, like not really, like obviously glancing up to you, but should be for you. Solitary and work crew plus you two, okay? And then he'll lock the cell.
Hey, what about Lila? She's supposed to be back here.
When does work end? We're new to this block.
Yeah, the workday tail extends for a couple hours past lights out. I'm sure that she'll be escorted back once they're all done up.
Oh, okay. You have a lovely evening.
Sleep tight, inmate. So the lanterns also that line the tunnels, they begin to wink out a number of minutes later, right? Again, as the last of your area has been double counted, roll called, and the tunnels plunge back into darkness.
We don't hear other people returning from work detail?
Not right away, no. So obviously the cells all around you have been filled up, and like about 2 more hours pass, and you hear again a set of like 2 footsteps coming down your tunnel, like the heavy steps of like guard boots, and then like the softer pads of like a cloth clad foot, right? Like a slippered foot. And a bit of a light comes into view right through the darkness, and you can see a guard with a lantern is escorting an inmate down your corridor. Rumke, you definitely would recognize her as being part of Jex's crew. She was sitting at the table when you spoke to him about the fights before you decided to try to take him out of the work detail that morning, and she had actually been the one member of his crew that had missed the brawl, as she was like elsewhere, as she had wandered off to a latrine, and then you had tussled with the other 4 Trinity members there from his crew. You see, like, she's been given like a tray of food from the cafeteria. She has it in her hands, and she's ushered into basically the cell, like kind of 2 down and across from yours, basically. So you can see peering through the bars like which cell she gets in, and then she's returned and locked in.
Okay, as the guard walks by, I go, "Hey, we're still missing a friend here. One of our cellmates. She'll be back by now, right?"
Which one? What's her number?
Her name is Lila. It's a few numbers off of mine.
Oh yeah, the young looking one, right?
Yeah.
She's with the doctor. It's out of my hands.
What happened? Are we allowed to know anything?
Hey, I don't know what happened. The doctor pulled her off the crew to use her for something. I don't know. He said he needed an assistant.
Oh. Okay, so she wasn't injured.
Were you there?
Yeah, I was the guard escort for her work detail crew.
Assistants should still come back at night.
Did she sound like a little girl? Or did she sound like she was sort of mean when she was talking?
Come to think of it, she did sound a little mean.
Yeah, like, did she sound like this or like this?
Yeah, the second one for sure. Look, if the doctor takes her off the crew and uses her for whatever he needs to, I'd be happy about it.
Yeah, but she can't. She's not gonna sleep with us?
Like I said, she's not my problem anymore. When the doctor's done with her, he'll have his guards escort her back.
I see no need for there to be overnight visits with the doctor. This just seems inappropriate.
Listen, inmate. It's lights out. Get back to sleep.
Okay.
I go back and lay in my bed. I think we're in a lot of trouble now.
Well, if Seychelles took over and they said to hate Dr. Cockle, and I don't like the name Cockle in the first place, this seems really sketchy.
Well, I guess let's see what happens in the morning. Maybe we can get you on the work detail. Again.
I think I'm good, actually. Thanks. Alright, night, Delta.
Yeah, night, Jewel.
And you both attempt to get some type of sleep. I mean, you like the common sounds of like a shared sleeping space, even though you're not obviously the 2 of you in one cell, but there's the number of cells around you. There's the tossing and turning of other sleeping inmates and the light snoring coming from some. But you are able to drift off to sleep before the creak of your prison cell opening wakes both of you. And a group of 4 guards trudges in to the cell, each of them grabbing a hold of Rumke, picking him up and dragging him away, locking the cell behind.
You don't have to drag me. I'll walk.
On your feet.
I understand what's going on here.
They start walking Rumke away from the cell and down the corridor. You are escorted or leading this escort to Dr. Cockle's infirmary. Helkruk in the front, Kaelia, 2 guards, and then the doctor. Leading the group back down that curved corridor in the northern section of cell block A that you had originally been taken this morning, Kaelia, and into that room that you had momentarily passed and spied into. You move past the group of lethargic on the left of the room set into the chairs, and the group of the maimed prisoners on the right side also chained. And like, this has obviously been hours later, right, Kelly? You put in like a whole work crew shift here. You do see that Happy does still remain. In fact, most of the people in these chairs look like the same ones that you had briefly witnessed this morning. Hellcrack, you're kind of seeing this space, of course, for the first time, right? And like, the constable's head hangs very loosely on his neck, and it kind of slightly raising as your group enters the room, and his eyes are still like glazed over. Drool is dribbling from the corners of his mouth, but Hellcrack gets the briefest moment of recognition from the constable, because of course Happy has not met Kalia in person. You're stopped before the parted curtains, right, that Kalia has witnessed the shadow, clearly the doctor working behind, in front of the two corridors that move past it from the left and the right. And the doctor addresses you again, Kalia. Tell me, conflicted one, is our patient seeking refuge from torment or begging for the sweet chorus of the heavens?
Oh, neither, really. He's pretty zen about everything.
Choose!
Oh, what are the choices again? Sorry,
Choose!
Well, torment.
Yeah, the first one. I don't like either of them, but the first one, I think.
The doctor simply nods, and the two guards again kind of like prodding you, as they seem to want to keep their distance from the supposedly diseased inmate here as well. But you are urged to take Hellcrack down the left corridor. And you stepping into like a larger chamber, and this one is also lined with cots, with beds. Looks like there's upwards of 20 inmates that lie on each of the beds. They look like they're catatonic, even like further progressed than in the first room there, right? They just completely unconscious. Some of them just have their eyes like open, unblinking, and each of them are strapped down to their cots with like leather straps. When the hells overflow, the pouring souls belong to me. Fortune has it, there is vacancy. The doctor motions to an empty bed. And the two guards again prod Kalia and Hellcrack towards this bed.
Okay, we're going.
And they will kind of lie Hellcrack down and strap Hellcrack to the bed.
I would like to try and struggle and fight back.
Okay, absolutely, yes. If you want to like lash out, you certainly can. Because currently it's just the two of you, two guards, and the doctor.
Axel, that's just gonna get you hit.
I'm not letting them do this to me without putting up a fight.
What sort of... Oh, okay. It's not 20 for whatever sort of check it is you want, Leland.
If you're fighting, you're throwing punches. You're throwing hands here. Assuming that is what you're trying to do, or if you're just trying to like squirm away from them.
I mean, yeah, I think my initial strategy would be to try and just like break free, prevent them from strapping me down to this bed. And then that's probably going to lead to fighting, but
they don't like, again, they seem to be hesitant after what Kalia said about you to actually lay hands on you. So it's all kind of like at the end of their little billy club, right? And the Dr. Cockles is just like simply watching this. So if you want to try to like break free or get out of the room, like if you want to try to run, then you can definitely do that.
I don't know how this plays into our plan of trying to rescue Benito del Toro and Happy. But Hellcrack also is not about to let some freak experiment on him. What sort of guard presence is there, like, in this like general area? I know you said there's only 2 guards who are currently like right by us, but
on your walk from your cell to the infirmary here, you didn't pass anybody else in the tunnels. It was simply your 2 guard escort and the doctor here. Now, obviously, there were before you got to that kind of curving corridor, there were a number of solitary cells. Hellcruck, again, having been down this tunnel for the first time yourself, you see that whole, the whole length of it, like there was nothing but tunnel. There were no cells in this section either. It looked like it was simply just carved to gain access to where you ended up, basically. And of course, where you turned into this room, the tunnel, continues further into cell block A as well, which Kylia definitely knows exactly where that leads because she had been there already.
Okay, so Hellcruck is going to try and grapple one of these guards and restrain him, and sort of like, hold him hostage almost. Maybe Kylia will also do the same for the other one, but we shall see. Basically just kind of sort of like a standoff to be like, hey, you're not doing this to me, and buy some time to figure out what this deranged doctor is up to.
Okay, let's do a contested grapple here then.
19 on the die for what is strength?
Yeah, athletics.
24.
Well, this guard only got a 5. So as they're, again, trying to keep their distance, you, like, very quickly close the gap between you and the closest guard to you. And you're able to, like, wrap him up and basically get his, like, club, like, up and under his chin, right? With you, like, behind him and securing him, basically, with this weapon around his throat.
Look, Doctor, you tell me what's going on here or else you don't want to see what's going to happen to this guard. Trust me. Make your experiments look tame.
You see, like, he's still wearing his goggles, and that those lenses, like, narrow again as he peers at you. And the other guard is, like, taking, like, a defensive stance, but he's not entirely sure what to do. Kylie, are you just also taking in the scene here? You're not making any movements currently?
I think I might, like, stand up closer, like, step closer to the guard and be like, there's nowhere to go, to Axel. But I'm not attacking anybody.
But you're kind of saddling him next to this other guard here, playing a little coy.
Yes.
And again, the doctor is, like, lenses narrow as he peers at you, Hellcruck. Can you hear the faint music at the end of it all? It sounds like razor blades through flesh. You clearly are not seeking refuge from torment. You wish to hear the chorus.
No, he doesn't. He's been seeking refuge his entire life.
Can I quickly sort of, at the same time, let go of this guard? I'd like to hold on to his stick and, like, kick him.
Hold on to his staff?
Yeah. Gonna find the fine line between pleasure and pain, one way or another. So I'd like to try and regain my handhold on this, on his beaten stick, and then, like, kick or, like, shove him toward the doctor to give me some distance between them and me, and I'd like to sort of, like, have a stick to defend myself.
Give me why don't you just give me, like, a sleight of hand, then? We'll see.
That's a 9.
So you, unfortunately, don't disarm the guard, but you will be able to, like, shove him forward from your advantageous position currently. And obviously, like, releasing him, so he kind of stumbles towards the doctor. And you see the doctor kind of just, like, simply, like, pivots on one foot, sidestepping the guard as the guard stumbles past him. And then the doctor takes about 3 steps over to his right, and kind of a ways away from you, stopping at a, like, wheeled, like, metal tray, basically, like a little cart. He just simply picks up a vial of this, like, a red tinted liquid. With this, you could be unstoppable. You would find the line between pain and pleasure.
Look, I don't need anything that you've got. Not buying what you're selling, mister. Not gonna be your next experiment, your next patient. What are you doing to these people anyway? This looks barbaric down here. These poor people don't know what's going on around them. Look at them.
Invalid. He'll put the vial back onto the cart. You see he reaches for a small scalpel. One should always enjoy their work. I'll enjoy making you enjoy it as well. And we can roll initiative.
Adjusted 20 for Hellcrook.
22.
The doctor's clearly picked up a weapon and intends to use it. The top of the order is Kylea.
The 2 guards are still here, correct?
Yeah.
I want to position myself so I am... Can I get within 5 feet of the 3 of them and not Hellcrook?
No.
2 of them?
Like the doctor and the guard you're currently standing next to. You're basically 5 feet. You got the guard to your right, the doctor to your left. Hellcrook's 10 feet in front of you. And then the guard he sent sprawling about 15 feet to your left.
Oh, in for a penny, in for a pound, right? Kylea will whisper, "Protect us." And a circle of spectral blades will sweep around me. Creatures within 5 feet must succeed on dexterity saving throws.
Nice.
Wow.
Verbal only.
Verbal only. That's crazy. Excellent. Okay, so what is this?
Sword burst. Spectral blades sweeping around me. You gotta make dex saves.
Doctor gets a 21. Guard number
Of course he
1
does.
only gets a 6.
9 points of force damage.
That's on the fail?
Yeah, it's a cantrip.
Ah, I gotcha. Okay, so the doctor takes nothing. Your swirling blades will, like, tear at his schmuck, clearly, like, cutting ribbons across the front of him.
And I will go stand behind Hellcrook. Using disengage.
Gotcha. All right. Hellcrook, you are next. You have the doctor and guard 1 10 feet in front of you. Kylea is now at your side. The second guard is 15 feet from you to your right. Also subsequently towards the exit to this room, as it does look like it is the only doorway leading in.
All right, I'm going to dart toward the guard who's closest to the exit and attack him to try and prevent anyone from escaping and going to alert more enemies. I'm just doing my standard attack, unarmed strike, for 21 to hit.
Yeah.
And that is 8 bludgeoning damage. And I will attack again with my extra attack. Not quite as good. 17 to hit.
Yes.
7 bludgeoning damage.
Right. You just 2 quick slaps, and he's like wavering.
I'll spend a key point for Flurry of Blows to make 2 unarmed attacks. 9 to hit.
Well, a 9 does miss.
And the next one is a 19 to hit.
That does.
6 bludgeoning damage.
And that last strike enough to knock him on his butt unconscious.
Okay. And then, so now I am sort of blocking the exit. Is that right?
Yes, you are standing in front of the threshold of the exit. Absolutely.
Okay. I will stay here.
All right. The good doctor. He has his scalpel in hand. Now, kind of Kylea to his right, Hellcrook to his left. He will pull off the top of the vial here and dip his scalpel into the red liquid, taking a surprisingly quick few steps towards Hellcrook to try to lash out at him with it. Oof. That one is only a 7 to hit, though. As quickly as he moved, he kind of swings a little too quick, almost mistiming his own steps. You see his like lenses are still like kind of narrowed, so he's at this very like tunnel vision-y bit of sight line here, missing Hellcrook. The other guard, though, will advance on Kylea, raising his club. 14 to hit.
Yes.
That is 5 bludgeoning as he tries to clock you over the head with it.
Kylea's shaking on her feet.
Back to the top with Kylea.
Lash out! Arms of Hadar. Dark tendrils of energy. This is verbal and somatic. lash out at the guard, and if the doctors are still within 10 feet, or if I can move up so that I can get both of them within 10 feet.
You can.
They need to make a strength save.
Well, the guard gets a 4. The doctor gets an 18.
So he'll take half damage on this one. 9 is full damage, and the guard is also... Sorry, it's necrotic damage, and the guard cannot take reactions until his next turn. And then I will disengage and move over by Hellcrook again.
Between your sword flourish and your Hadar, that guard perishes from your spell.
Can I guess I can't really have the tendrils target the doctor's goggles and try and knock them off.
Definitely out of the purview of the spell. I don't think you would think that the goggles are anything particularly unique or beneficial currently in combat from him wearing, so I don't know that you would really care about them. But both guards are down, and now it is Hellcrook.
All right, I am going to dash toward, not mechanically dash, but I'm going to dash toward the doctor and attack him with a unarmed strike. Gonna lead with my right. At 20. Let's go, Hellcrook. He's on fire today. So 14 bludgeoning damage.
Good hit.
And then I will take my second attack for 8.
Not gonna do it. No.
And I'll expend another key point to Flurry of Blows. Oh, that's right. I have open hand technique. Okay. So I'm going to attack with Flurry of Blows. That's not great. That is 14 to hit.
Yes, definitely.
9 bludgeoning damage. And I will use open hand technique. So whenever I use Flurry of Blows, I can impose one of the following effects. And I'm going to choose to cause him to fall prone. It's a dex saving throw of DC 12.
He got 7.
So he is prone.
All right. You knock the doctor down, so he'll spend half his movement to stand up, and he kind of like wipes his mouth, and he retrieves another vial from his pocket of his smock. And this one is not red, however, it is more of it's like a bright green. And he kind of tears off his torn smock from Kylia's sword flourish, and he will use his bonus action to drink this vial. And you see like across his bare chest, like he's bare chested with like pants on underneath, right? So he's bare from the waist up, and across his body, like the green, like in his veins under the skin, like spread across him as down his neck as he drinks it.
Is he about to Hulk out?
He's not swelling in size at all, but he does grin, and you see like he like nicks himself on his pec to draw his own blood, and he like smiles at it and almost like laughs as if hearing a joke. I have found the line. It could have been yours. And again, we'll try to strike at Hellcrook. There's a 15 to hit.
That hits.
So it's only 4 slashing. But can you make me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Unbelievable. Nat 20 for a total of 23.
As the blade makes contact and draws blood, you like almost immediately start to feel like a lethargy kind of start to spread over you, but like right away you're able to like shake its effects, like the adrenaline of the fight pumping, potentially aiding you in like quickly flushing it away from this bit of contact in your bloodstream. And Kylia, you're right back at the top.
The arms of Hadar will lash out again. Strength save, please.
16. Wow, he's got a 0 for strength. I'm just rolling well.
Damn it. That's half of 15, so 7 damage. And he's back up, so I want to try and telekinetically shove him. If I can, shove him like against something.
You're only able to manipulate 5 feet, right? So there's not really anywhere substantial that you're going to be able to shove him just 5 feet into, unfortunately. Other than Hellcrock, I guess.
I'll try and knock him back down again, I guess, if I can. But away from me. See if he trips. Strength save.
17.
Dang nabbit. He do not move. I'm gonna stomp my foot in frustration.
Hellcrock.
How injured does he look?
He looks incredibly beat up. Far more injured than he should look and still remain conscious.
Very interesting. Alright, well, I don't have a lot of tricks up my sleeve other than just punching people, so that's what we're going to keep doing. Coming in for another right. 22 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Max damage, which is 11 bludgeoning.
Wow. Good job.
And second attack, 8 to hit.
No.
Okay. And I will Flurry of Blows for a key point. 21 to hit. 6 bludgeoning damage.
As you make contact the second time here, every strike you're landing on him, he's seeming to enjoy, right? As you inflict this pain. Your last strike kind of hits him in the chest, and he clutches where his heart, over his heart on his chest. Ah, I can hear the chorus. I've found the pain, the pleasure. And then he stops breathing and just collapses face down onto the stone floor.
Well, I was gonna impose prone on him anyway, so save me the...
That was interesting.
What on earth is going on here?
Should we tie him up, just in case?
Yes, absolutely. I don't like this one bit. I'm not sure I want to know any more than I do, but I think we should tie them all up because...
and hide them.
Yes. We can't let them alert the rest of the guards or our whole mission here is going to be compromised.
And take their keys.
Oh.
Hellcrock kind of taps his nose and smiles.
Good thinking, Lila.
So we do that. We take them, all three of them, drag them somewhere in a secluded corner, tie them up, and take their keys and anything else they have on them.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, the guards. One guard is dead.
Tie them up anyway.
Oh, I suppose we could strap them to the beds.
And cover them with sheets.
Yeah.
Make them look like other people. Should we release the other prisoners to sow chaos?
Well, I don't know. It might. I'm just worried that we need to be careful we don't, compromise our cover. We don't want to. We want to be able to get out of here.
Fine.
I will remind you both. The guard that kind of was fatally wounded by the necrotic damage, as per one of our house rules, he will die in 2 rounds if not stabilized. And if you're going to check the doctor also appears to be dead.
Appears to be. We're definitely tying him up.
So, do you want to stabilize this unconscious guard?
Seixadal doesn't care.
I mean, I guess for timing's sake, if we were to stabilize him before we tie him up, we've still got time, right? It takes a while for him to regain consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hellcrock will. He who knows whether this guard's actually a really bad egg or is just doing his job.
And we'll give them both some of that red stuff, just to make sure they stay down.
I don't know. I don't know what it does.
It's stupor. It's super duper stupor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe that's not a bad idea. When he does wake up, he won't be causing too much trouble for a while.
Exactly.
Okay, so in this room there's 1 empty cot, the rest are occupied, and on that little tray there are 5 more remaining vials of the red liquid.
I'll take them all, give half of, or just a little bit, I guess a couple drops of one to the one guard and the doctor, just in case. And I guess who do we tie up? Who do we put on the bed?
The people who are occupying beds what sort of state are they in?
Near catatonic by the looks of it. They haven't, the whole time you were tussling, none of them stirred in any of their beds. Even as you are figuring out picking up bodies and putting them onto this empty cot, Nobody in here appears to be stirring. Also, Kylia, being semi-familiar with stupor, like, like a few drops of this stuff, like that will do nothing as far as trying to elicit the effects. If you want to force feed someone, you'd have to force feed someone an entire vial. If you want to try to put them under the effects of, it's like drinking a potion. Like, you got to put the whole thing, right?
Okay, so then I'll have 4 left. Nope, 3, because I'm going to force feed the doctor, even though he seems to be dead.
Okay, so you pour it into you like opened the doctor's jaw, poured it into his mouth, and it just kind of like, fills his mouth cavity, and then like, overflows on his lips, and just kind of like drains down the back of his throat. Like, it doesn't look like there's any like unconscious swallowing or anything from the body. Like, he still appears to be very dead.
Hellcrock's going to go to like the far end of the room, farthest away from the entrance, and undo, basically release 2 prisoners and kind of tuck them on the far side of the stretchers on the floor, where they might be a little bit less.
How big are the beds? Could we fit 2 people in one bed?
No, they're like single like cots. So okay, yeah, you can absolutely do that. You like they're just leather strappings, like kind of like a with a pin and hole, like a belt, right? So you can absolutely like try to tuck away some of these catatonic patients and throw on the guards and the doctor and cover them up. Absolutely. And on the guards themselves, like other than their clubs, if you wanted to take those, each of them have what looks like a master key for the prison. And on the doctor himself, he also has his own little key ring as well. His key looks like it doesn't match what the guards carry. It's something different.
Hellcrock, there's a garden here somewhere with flowers that Opal wanted.
Oh, really? Well, we could try and find out too, but we should focus on the most important tasks first, I think. Let's see if we can get Happy and out of there.
Oh, yes. Happy.
Is it like nighttime in prison right now?
Well, like I said, you were in your cell for like 12 hours, so presumably, yes, it is the end of the day. Hellcrock, though, your time in the prison, you definitely know that very shortly after the final meal of the day is served, is lights out for the inmates. So judging by what Kylia kind of her rough estimate of the time, you like know that soon, or if it hasn't already, the inmates will then be quickly ushered into their cells for the night, basically, for lights out.
And no one's looking for us, though. The doctor took us. And no one's going to be expecting us anywhere.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, maybe tonight's the night we could pull this off. But we need to get Benito. I guess he'll probably be back in his cell by now, right?
We don't know where that is.
Yeah, that's the problem.
We really can't stay longer either, because tomorrow somebody's going to find, well, the doctor missing, at the very least.
Yeah. It's a sticky situation.
Have you ever seen a baby bullet?
No, I don't. Can't say that I have, I don't think.
Well, if you ever want to, they have one here.
What?
And a mama, and she's huge.
That sounds dangerous. What are they doing with that?
Yeah, it's kind of dangerous, and I'll pull out my arm and rub on it. They use them to dig the caves.
Oh, that's kind of smart. Well, what do you think? What should we do?
Let's find the greenhouse, free Happy, sneak back to our cells. I wonder when, and hide till morning.
How are we gonna escape with Benito once it's daytime?
If we can get Happy back to our cell, we could hide him there.
And wait till tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Hellcrook, you also know that part of the lights out process is a roll call before the inmates are locked in back into their cells for the night. A guard will go by and basically tick off that they have the proper inmate, judged by their number, in the proper cell before closing them in for the night.
Happy's a pretty small fella, right?
He's a medium-sized human. He's a little on the thin side, especially. He looks pretty gaunt right now.
Perfect. Well, Happy's not expected to be anywhere. Neither's Lila, neither's Hellcrook. Although Hellcrook's supposed to be in solitary.
Or within the doctor.
Oh, you're supposed to be working all night tonight, right?
Oh no, work's done.
So, what's the plan? You're supposed to go back to your cell tonight?
Until the doctor took us.
You're supposed to be in solitary.
Until the doctor took you.
Right. So, when they come to check on the cells tonight, they're not going to expect me to be there.
Well, there was a guard that was escorting the rest of her crew away, so he definitely witnessed the doctor keep Kylia behind.
And it wasn't one of the guards that we beat up / killed.
So it's not unknown that Kylia and or Hellcrook were with the doctor at some point.
I would think it would not be. I would not be missed.
How heavily patrolled are the hallways and like the cells by guards after lights out?
Based on what you kind of witnessed, like Kylie and Rumkey specifically witnessed, that first night that you crawled through the tunnel to get in, and obviously Hellcrook, your experience, there's like a routine patrol every hour or two that would just kind of wander up and down the tunnels with the cells.
Yeah, we can at least get Happy, and we can sneak him back into our cell tonight after lights out. Avoid the guard patrols. And then we just somehow gotta sort out getting Benito out, but we can maybe figure that out tomorrow. But I think I can help you get Happy back to our cell, but I'm gonna have to go back into solitary.
No? Why?
Well, that's where I'm supposed to be. They're gonna be expecting to release me tomorrow morning when my sentence is up.
We're sure we can get you there.
Okay, well, let's do one thing at a time. Let's go get
Let's
Happy.
go find the
I think
greenhouse.
he's gonna-
Oh, yeah, Happy. Let's get Happy. Hi, thanks for joining us. There are a few things we'd like for you to know. You can get more info from our website, incorrigibleparty.com, and we have a World Anvil site now, worldanvil.com/w/Senta-Leland Steel. World Anvil is free, but you do need to make an account. Leland's put a lot of information there for everyone, which is good because between you and us, we all need it. Our music is provided by Tabletop Audio and Sarastro Music. You can support us at patreon.com/incorrigibleparty or just by telling your friends and anyone who'll listen about your new favorite podcast. Also, give us 5 stars on your favorite podcast listening thingy. The more people know, the more people that'll listen, and the more panicky we become. And last but not least, join our Discord, which is free and open to everyone, and we talk about video games, board games, floofs, and the podcast. Get insider info and be the first to find out about all the new and awesome things. Happy adventuring!
This has been a Sounds of Steel production.